So, have you ever heard of the Boneyard? This story takes place in Yellowstone National Park and involves a real location that most visitors will never hear about. It's a place rangers unofficially call the Boneyard. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a remote area. It's tucked off away from the public trails, where rangers dump animal carcasses. Anything that dies of natural causes or, has to be put down. It's off limits to tourists. There's no signs, no access roads, just a dirt path and a locked gate. And for years, it's been used like an open graveyard for dead wildlife. And apparently, something else too. And in the fall of 2019, right, there was this ranger. His name was Mitch. And a bull elk, I guess, had been hit by a truck the night before. And so Mitch was the one in charge of hauling the carcass to the boneyard to dump it before dark. So, Mitch drives his truck down the trail. He backs in the clearing and opens the tailgate, to roll the elk off. And as he's doing this, right, he says he hears something. And I mean, he's familiar with the territory. He says it's not a bear and it's not a wolf. It's just something with this real loud crunching noise. So he shines his flashlight right towards the tree line. And that's when he said he sees them. At first, he thinks it's a person, like maybe poachers. But they then move and their arms are skeletal and their skin looks stretched. They're not fighting over the meat. They're just silently devouring. He can't really tell what it is, so at first he's still thinking like this is some type of animal he's not used to seeing. But then one of them lifts its head, and it literally has no eyes, just black sockets. Mitch instantly bolts out of there, gets in his car, and floors out. He makes it back to the ranger station, right? And he tells his supervisor just everything. But here's where it starts to get strange. His supervisor, doesn't laugh at him or call him crazy or anything. He just leans back in his chair, right? And just kind of looks at him and is like, hey, why don't you just set up some trail cams and let's see what you saw. So the next morning, right, Mitch gears up, takes 2 motion trigger cameras out early and tells everybody he'll be back before lunch. But Mitch never comes back. Rangers go out that afternoon and they find his truck parked exactly where it should be. There was no sign of the struggle. But Mitch is just gone. The cameras he brought too, they're gone too. They search for days and days. I mean, there's just nothing. There's no prints. There's no clothing of his, no backpack, no body. I mean, nothing. Eventually, right, the park issues a public statement saying Ranger Mitch Thompson was likely attacked by a bear and dragged off. But here's where this story flips from weird to straight up unsettling. So like a week later, there's just a hiker totally unrelated to this search, and he's walking an unmarked trail on a ridge, not far from where the boneyard was. And he slips down this ridge line. And at the bottom, he finds this like half buried in the mud trail cam. And it's cracked. I mean, it looks like it's torn in half. But the memory card was still inside. So authorities get it and review the footage. And what it shows Mitch walking through the clearing in the early morning light. He sets up the first camera on a tree, then walks off the screen to place the second one. A few minutes pass. Then there's this sound, like crunching twigs, heavy, like real heavy. The second camera kicks on. It shows Mitch adjusting the lens. He turns, he looks towards the woods, and you can just see the expression in his face. And then it just goes black. Just for a second, though, there's like a dark, tall shape that just kind of moves across the frame. You can't really tell what it is, but you can tell it's large and some type of presence. There's a snapping noise, loud and violent. That's it. And to this day, Mitch Thompson has never been found. So what do you think was out there? Was it some type of entity? discovered type of species? Let me know in the comments below.